blue-collar state, and Chicago is a blue-collar town. You know, from farming the fields and building skyscrapers, we're just a hands-on city and a hands-on state.
Brewing brings in all the best parts of creation, farming and natural and raw materials into brewers that are making a set of choices that result in something that makes people honestly enjoy themselves and feel better about their day.
I guess we're a hard-scrabble bunch here in the Midwest. We don't have the sunshine of the West Coast or the hoity-toityness of the East Coast, but we love our beer around here.
I see Illinois and Chicago as a place that builds. It's a working culture here and prided itself on building, bringing all kinds of creative efforts to fruition.
A lot of the breweries that have started up are all small, hands-on breweries, so we are doing everything from rubbing the hops to, you know, dumping bags of grain. It's a very blue-collar job.
One of the things I love about Chicago is the way that we're constantly reinventing and rebuilding the city. All the new breweries opening in town are a great example of all this growth and rebuilding you see all around town.
I think in general there's a lot of pride of being a suburban brewer. Even though we interact with each other, we're kind of spaced out a little bit more. We're working more on our own. We're kind of frontier people, if you will. And we're out here to take what's going on in the city and bring it out to the suburbs.
I'm the only brewer here, and you can probably see it over my shoulder. It's a glassed-in room, so I spend a lot of time in solitary. But I get a lot of visitors. And those visitors are other brewers. And then I get a ton of homebrewers that come in, and I'm learning things from homebrewers too. We're all just brewers.
We have a large homebrew community. We have PALE, which is Plainfield Ale and Lager enthusiasts. It's a huge homebrew club that we have out here. We have a burgeoning second homebrew club, Spent Grain Society. They felt like there was enough room for 2 homebrew clubs in this area. It's just kind of the tip of the iceberg of the enthusiasm for craft beer that's out here.
Living here in Plainfield, we're really ingrained in the homebrewing community. We're part of a few different homebrew clubs. You know, we kind of saw that there was a need for a homebrew shop out here. 90% of the people that walk through our door are either interested in getting into brewing or already a home brewer. So when you get that around our tasting room, it's a pretty cool environment where the exchange of information that happens and the camaraderie between everyone, it's like instantly when you walk in, you're like a part of the family. And I think that's a cool thing about Chicago as well. When you look at all these brewers, everybody's friends, everybody's trading information, and everybody's sharing ingredients, you know. It goes back to that community aspect where people are working together to enjoy and brew craft beer.
It's all about bringing community together, and that's how it's being celebrated.
All that art of collaboration that is what's really driving, I think, our beer scene. I think it's what really excites people in the Chicago market.
But the other thing is the power of beer to bring people together and build community, because it really is giving Plainfield an identity. I'm pretty proud to be a part of that.
I love seeing the enthusiasm. The Chicago market just keeps absorbing it. They keep accepting all of us in their community and taking what we're making and enjoying it and sharing it with others.
There's a lot of room for craft breweries and brew pubs in Illinois. In the next 5 years, 7 years, we're going to see a lot of breweries starting to open, brewing some really, really good beer.
What we've seen over the past 3 to 5 years is that there are a lot of people in the area on the north side of Chicago that are looking for establishments that serve high-quality beer. We're very fortunate that the craft beer makers, the brewers, are seeking to locate here in the neighborhood.
There's a market here, and the north side of Chicago seems to be one of the best places in the United States for people that want to start companies.
Spiteful is it's in the Northcenter, Ravenswood neighborhood, and it's an amazing neighborhood. We're just down the street from Half Acre. We're not far from Metropolitan. We're 2 blocks away from Beguile. So we share a wall with Leatherby.
Since we've been here, we've seen really how great this neighborhood is for breweries. We couldn't be happier to be here. We started on the stove, and then went to all grain brewing, and then went to just bigger systems, and we've kind of just gone at our own pace without jumping in and getting too ahead of ourselves. But it's a very small brewery. We're in 400 square feet. We self-distribute everything.
It's awesome to be able to be able to have an impact on the Northcenter community by me working here. Currently we're a 5-man team, but the amount of jobs in this area are only growing.
One of the most important things we're concerned with are jobs. We want to create more jobs. And this is an industry that's actually growing.
We've been able to actually provide 3 full-time positions outside of Brad and myself, which we never thought we'd get to within a year. So we're just going to keep growing and adding jobs that are local and making local products to be bought in the local neighborhoods.
It's amazing the multiplying effect craft beer can have on economic development.
To be able to go to a bar and to try our beer on tap, that's really special.
Most of all, the restaurants and bars and taverns and boutiques around here are all local. Big part of what happens around here from the neighborhood is the support that we get from there. We want to support the local breweries, and I think that the neighborhood wants to support the local restaurants, so all that kind of goes hand in hand. It's kind of one big community that's supporting each other. It just makes sense to us to help out the guys who are going to work every day and making great beer for us, and how can you not support that, you know?
Outside of just the beer, we certainly like to be involved with the community and support it whenever we can.
You see a lot of community pride in craft beer especially.
They're not only people that I do business on a day-to-day basis with, but they're also friends. So I really feel good about supporting the local guys because they're my buddies, you know? So it's pretty easy.
You can order the beer you want wherever you go now, right? And so you have a lot more access. And I think that's great because it's all local.
A lot of bars are all of a sudden you have a lot more choices and they want to support local breweries. So when you walk into a bar today, you might have 3 or 4 Chicago breweries or more. You'd be lucky to find any maybe 5 years ago.
And so now I think you're starting to see that when people think of Chicago, they think of great craft beer. We say global city, we're a hub of culture, arts, and commerce. I think you can legitimately say we're a hub of craft beer.
We've always been a huge beer town as far as consumption, but never crafting it. And that's a really unusual thing. I made the decision to make beer my career and my life, I'd say in 2009. And at that time, it was Peace Pizza, you know, Goose Island, and Rock Bottom were it. Now, I couldn't even tell you how many breweries are in the city, so it's amazing to see the proliferation of craft beer in the city.
Because of the expansion of the neighborhoods and going into Bucktown, Logan Square kind of pushing towards Wicker Park, there's just more people around, not just people that live here, but people that are coming around.
Choosing this neighborhood was organic for us. Everyone, for the most part, lives within probably a mile radius with a couple of exceptions. So I mean, it's an easy place for us to commute to. We all can come and be a family here and work together.
I love every one of these people I work with, and if I didn't, then I would hate coming to work every day. But we're in the beer industry. You know, it's a fun, communal sort of product we're making, so why shouldn't the process of making it be fun and communal?
We're kind of into the local movement, so it really works well together. It's a good symbiotic relationship. I'm really happy to be part of like a growing number of businesses that are adding to the neighborhood and bringing it to a better place.
We want to help all those other small businesses grow. It's between restaurants, bars, and retailers. It's whoever really sort of expresses the serious interest about pushing craft beer and the movement of craft beer, then we want to be supportive of that.
One of the primary goals of the Beer Temple was educating and beer education overall. The more educated people are about what they're consuming and about beers in general, the more likely they are to grab a quality made beer and, for that matter, a locally made beer. We've come to a point here in the craft beer market in America where we have enough educated consumers and people who want really artisanal products. Not enough just to go to the corner store for some of these beers. Right now, the Beer Temple has about 800 unique beers that we keep. Just within the last year, the amount of local beers that are within that 800 has dramatically increased. It used to be that if it was a local beer, I used to be able to carry it, and now it's I have to find space for these beers. I've got a whole section dedicated to just Chicago breweries now, and it's great. I love it.
Man, people are thirsty. They're thirsty for good beer. As long as you have more and more people kind of coming on to craft beer, everybody wins. And we're so pumped to be a part of that.
Sky's the limit at this point. You know, Chicago alone, the state as a whole, I mean, we still have a long ways to go. I mean, I don't think we're We're gonna oversaturate the market anytime soon. Every day you see on the shelves still like beers from California, beers from across the globe, beers from all over the country. I don't think it's over until like every beer on the shelf is like from Illinois. I think we got a long way to go, but I think we're having a good time getting there.
I think Chicago and Illinois is very big about its place. A very driven and creative group of brewers. That reality will push brewing in our state and in our city forward to new heights.
We are making sure that we're producing quality beer and exchanging ideas and information with everyone so that people will look at Illinois as a state, not just Chicago, but Illinois as a state producing quality beer.
This is a constant commitment to quality and education and bringing the community together to further craft beer.
People that come to the table with creativity and are willing to take an ongoing, unique approach to all that can be made here in this state will continue to enjoy success.
Overall, we're going to have a lot more choice and a lot more breweries selling a lot more beers.
Thank you.